Greetings, ladies and gentlemen of the internet, Jan Michael here. It's been quite some time since my last Oscars prediction video. In fact, it's been quite some time since a video in general. Why, you may ask? Oh, because of him. Because of him. You have no idea how hard it is to film while he's running around causing chaos. Since he's learned how to walk and crawl, it's been a lot harder to record. So I thought, you know what, I'm never gonna get a video out unless I just film with him in the room. So be prepared, there's gonna be some chaos. I'm sure he's gonna run around, scream his head off. I will try my best to edit around those parts, but if I don't do it this way, a video is never coming out. So please bear with me. Yes. Anyways. A lot's happened since my last predictions video. I mean, the film festivals have pretty much wrapped up. We got the Gotham Awards. We got some of the first documentary awards nominations. So we definitely have a better understanding of who the players, there he goes, who the players are going to be at the Oscars. The only film as of right now that we still don't know any reviews on whatsoever is Avatar. But I think with that one just right around the corner, we can safely start to play with everything that we've been hearing about, even the early rumblings. Like Marty Supreme has had like early reviews come out, but we still don't know fully 100% how the general reactions are going to be with the other critics, with the general audiences. But I'm feeling pretty good, and so I want to take this opportunity to go ahead and do my Oscar predictions this time for November of 2025. All right, we've just started and he's already causing mayhem. I don't know, consider him like the human equivalent of like the Oscar expert in Brother Bros cat that comes into the scene here and there, only far more destructive. Anyways, I gotta get my inner nerd out for this one because I'm doing something special this time around. I actually have my laptop right in front of me, and I'm actually going to be going over your guys' predictions. How am I going to do that? I'm actually going to go onto the awards expert website and see what the general consensus are for every single category and compare it to how mine are as of right now. Do we fall in line or do we differ? If we differ, how do we differ? So with that in mind, of course, we're going to start off with Best Picture. I'm going to read your guys' top 10 first, and then I'll go over mine, and then we'll kind of just compare them. So you guys, number one battle after another. This is your Best Picture winner. I don't think we need to go into much detail as to why. I've already listed everything in the previous videos. I'm sure everybody has already talked about all the reasons this is the most likely one to go on to win. Number 2, Sinners. Yes, I do think that is safely in your top 10 there, as is your number 3, Hamnet, as is your number 4, Sentimental Value, as is your number 5, Marty Supreme. The top 5, I think, are solidified almost 100%. Again, we don't know the full reviews to Marty Supreme, but they've been consistent enough that I'm not feeling too worried about its chances of getting in. I think that's pretty much locked in. Number 6, you guys have Wicked for Good. The reviews to this one have already started coming out, and they've not been as strong as the first one. Ultimately, I don't think it's going to matter. It's going to make a ton of money. It's going to get this the text nominations, which is going to help it get into Best Picture. But yeah, maybe not as strong as I had originally thought it was going to be, but I still think it's got still think it's got its strength. Look at you. Look at this mess that you've already created. Yeah. Number 7, you guys have Frankenstein. This is pretty much been solidified to get into the Best Picture running. It's not a Nightmare Alley situation anymore, but people are legitimately really liking the film. So definitely feel it's going to be getting in there. He's going to distract me, you can tell. Number 8, It Was Just an Accident. This is your other international pick that people are just latching onto. It's only grown in conversation. So yes, 100% agree. It's safely in your top 10. Honestly, number 1 through 8 on your guys's, I'm feeling very confident about, which is a spoiler for my top 10. But it's number 9 and number 10 where I am unsure of what to put in mine. So going off of your guys, number 9, you have Avatar, Fire and Ash. It makes sense to put this in just because we still don't know what the full reviews are going to look like. The only thing that I've heard of so far is over 3 hours long. That's already making me go, oh, a 3-hour film in this universe. with at least The Way of Water, you were going underwater and seeing all these great sights. I don't think you're going to be going into the fire. I think you're going to be going into a fire world where you see the animals living in fire. So I don't know, that whole aspect of it, I gotta see. I something tells me it's not going to be. It's going to be the weakest of the three. But I've been constantly wrong this year. This year's been like a track record for me of how wrong I've been. So I might be wrong here as well. Number 10, you guys currently have Begonia. I just saw this one not that long ago. It is great. It is fantastic. Yes, it is. I agree it's not as amazingly perfect. I don't even want to call it that. As Poor Things was. Poor Things definitely the more superior film, but it's still a very strong film with very strong performances, great text, attributes to the film, which I could see if the Academy really went all in on the movie, it could get multiple nominations. This isn't just a above the line contender. So I'm glad it's in your guys' top 10. Going into mine now, see where we kind of differ. Number 1, I do have One Battle After Another for said reasons. Number 2, Sinners. I do think that's safely in. Hamnet, Sentimental Value. Marty Supreme, Wicked for Good. Honestly, we pretty much match beat for beat here. Where I am kind of swapped around just tadly is It Was Just an Accident, number 7. Frankenstein is my number 8. I mean, that's nothing. That's just one spot away. My number 9 is Begonia. I'm feeling a little bit better about the film after having seen it, and I've actually seen news articles of them speaking about the ending of the film. I think that's necessary. We need to have the conversation. If the film came out and the conversation just died after, same as it did when it like premiered, I'd be far more concerned. But the fact that I am seeing news articles, people are talking about it, that fills me with a little bit of hope that it's not dead. It's definitely going to stick around. But yeah, it's definitely a bottom 5 contender. And then my number 10 is A Hope Diction. I still have no other choice on here. I know that the trajectory of the film is not doing so hot. So I'm kind of scared of it not getting in. It's your guys' number 11, though. You guys are very close. I just scrolled down to see. So, you know, we're kind of close there, but I get it. Just the conversation behind that one have died. If it was just an accident, has this conversation been ratcheting up? This one's kind of having the opposite effect. Though the people that really love it are really loving it, and I hope they continue championing for it. I don't think it's not going to show up anywhere. I do think it has a life in the award circuits. I just don't know how far it's really going to get. So that's kind of my worry there. But some people did mention last time, it's like, oh, well, it's Neon. Is Neon going to get 3 films into Best Picture? And I don't know if when people vote, do people go, oh, yeah, I'd vote for no other choice, but I already got the other 2 Neon films in there. I can't give another Neon film my vote. I mean, I personally wouldn't vote that way. If I like the movie, I'm going to vote for it. But who knows? Maybe there is some inner machinations where they have like a deal set in place. I wouldn't put it past them. So that's my take on that. Yeah, and like, again, another extension to that is, let's say that no other choice was acquired by someone else, then would you be like, oh yeah, now it has a shot to get in, so the distributor has a factor in that? I don't know, that to me is all silly, but that's what I got for my 10. It's not that far off from your guys' 10, so I'm glad we're on the same page there. Right, my babies? Right, my baby? Yes, he agrees. All right, moving on to your directors. Number 1, you guys have Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another. Another foregone conclusion. I think even more so than Picture. Like, there's like a small, tiny % chance that One Battle doesn't go home with Picture. But it's even more minuscule, like in director. They want to give Paul Thomas Anderson his dues. He's been nominated 11 times, has never won, has made some amazing films. People are arguing that this is one of his best. This is exactly how you go home with Best Director and Best Picture. I mean, this is Oppenheimer all over again with Christopher Nolan. People want to give them their dues. Perfect chance to do so. You don't get these nice, like, lobby ups. I don't know what volleyball terminology, but, you know, it's like perfectly spiked up. You just gotta slam it down, and people are gonna be very upset if they don't follow through with that. So That's what you got. Your number 2 is Chloe Zhao for Hamnet. Nice to see her come back after honestly, how many years has it been since Nomadland? Not bad. We were hoping to see that as well with oh my goodness, I'm forgetting everybody's name. With Catherine Bigelow. Here we go for House of Dynamite. That film just died, so that's kind of sad to see. But Chloe, good on you for coming back so fast. Honestly, if it wasn't for Paul Thomas Anderson, I think you'd have a really good shot at claiming the victory there. Although your guys' number 3, Ryan Coogler, he could be snubbable from what I understand. I hope not. That would be a sin. You get it, baby? It would be a sin. He's not impressed. The dad jokes come with the territory, but they don't always hit. But man, I really hope he doesn't miss. That would be terrible. And if he did get in and Paul Thomas Anderson wasn't there, I do think it would be a fight between Chloe and Ryan. Ryan had that really great moment early in the year where he almost started crying while talking about his craft. That's how you can tell the passion behind somebody's work. So I think that was a really good moment for him. And Sinners was fucking did gangbusters. So number 4, you guys have Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value. Yes, I do agree with that. Number 5, Jafar Panahi for Was Just an Accident. Yes, I also agree he's going to get in. I'm almost... in my personal ones, we'll talk about. Yeah, I know. In my personal ones, I do have them flipped around. I do think the trajectory for It Was Just an Accident has continued to go up. And Sentimental Values has kind of stayed stagnant, if you will. It's still holding on strong, but it's I don't think it's risen or fallen. It's just contained steady, and just a trajectory to me is more impactful. You want to get down? Okay, you want to get down. Is a bit more impactful than just kind of staying stagnant. But that's kind of what I'm thinking about the 5. Ultimately, we have the same 5, just in slightly different orders here. Number 1 for me is Paul Thomas Anderson. Number 2 is Ryan Coogler. Number 3 is Chloe Zhao. Number 4 is Jafar Panahi. Number 5 is Joachim Trier. I do think that is your top 5, but Josh Safdie, I think, is right on the cusp of getting in, depending on how the movie does when it fully opens up wide. We could see a surprise, and that's where I'm scared that that Ryan Coogler could miss. It's weird to think about that. If he's in, and like Paul wasn't in, there would be a battle, I feel, but there's a chance he could miss. So like it's like weird, right? Oh, when they're in, they have a better chance, but if they could just not make it in altogether. Like what? But yeah, this year especially has some really good directors. It's just a shame some of them have kind of dropped off to the side, like Park Chan-wook. I think it'd be really awesome to have 3 international directors in there. So yeah, I think there's a category we still got some surprises left, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they are. All right, he's back for actor. He wants to know what's going on there. So number 1, you guys have Timothée Chalamet for Marty Supreme. I heard he gives the best performances, one of his best performances. So yeah, makes complete sense. Number 2, Leonardo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another. If you are in the Best Picture winner, and we know that to be true, you have to watch out for them. And I've said in past videos, how awesome would this double win be for Leo for a dramatic performance and now for a comedic one? That would be those would be 2 awards that I'd be very proud of. So yeah, for me that would be a really awesome win. Number 3, Michael B. Jordan for Sinners. Once again, I hear he is snubbable, and I really hope that isn't the case. This could be his door to get into the Oscars. But if he does get in, I can also see him perfectly, at number 3 there. He could kind of get in everywhere, but just not go on to win anything. But that's okay. We just need him to get nominated this year. That's all we need. Number 4, you guys have Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent, which is awesome. I actually just put him into my personal 5. With other films kind of fumbling, actors falling off, I think there is now room for other people to get in. And Wagner Moura is one of the ones that, again, has had this steady increase. The Secret Agent just in total has been getting a good increase. It could potentially even get into Best Picture if No Other Choice and Avatar just don't get in. So yeah, good pick there. Number 5, Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon. I've heard great things about it. I personally haven't seen the movie just yet, but I do agree that the talks around him have been steadily increasing. So I gotta take him seriously, and it makes complete sense to me why you would have him in the top 5. I need to see the film first before I make the decision. So mine just slightly alteration there. I do have Timothy at number 1. I do have Leo at number 2. Michael at number 3. I do have Wagner Moore at number 4. Number 5, I do have Jesse Plemons. This could be recency bias because I just saw the film, but my God, he is spectacular in that movie. I really do think he deserves a nomination. More so than Ethan, I don't know. But if Ethan gets in, I think it would be a lone nomination for Blue Moon. I don't think that's going to get anywhere else. And that's just a little bit harder to predict. So I'm going to go Jesse. I'm hoping that the Academy embraced Begonia more than we're currently thinking. And Jesse just comes along with it. I feel like that's one of those movies where we're like, yeah, it'll be fine. It's not going to do that well, but it'll get in. And then come Oscar morning, or as the season goes along, it's just showing up everywhere, and we have to start going, oh, wait, no, they are really loving it. We got to take this a little bit more seriously. So I do see a trajectory there for that one as well. So that's all I got for actor. Moving on to actress, you guys have Jessie Buckley at number 1. Again, another foregone conclusion. She's winning. There's just no competition here. Number 2, you have Renata Reinsva for Sentimental Value. Yes, she's getting in. Number 3, Cynthia Erivo for Wicked for Good. The reviews came out. She is fantastic in the movie. If there's one thing that people are praising, it's the performances. So yes, I think she is safely in. Number 4, you guys have Amanda Seyfried for The Testament of Anne Lee. I need to see The Testament of Anne Lee before I include anything from that film into my predictions. So yes, spoiler, you won't see any of that film in any of the categories. I don't know. Even the people that really liked the film have acknowledged that second half is just so weak. It just feels like, her performance kind of dips in the second act. And if it was like the first act was the weak point and the second part was the strong point, where you're leaving the film on high spirits, I can see the argument where it could get in. But the second half, I think, is really paramount. And I think people are going to kind of walk away from the film more disappointed than not. Plus, even the people that loved it have said that there are going to be people that just don't want anything to do with the film whatsoever. So I need to see it. I need to see it because even with all that said, there are still, you guys are putting her in. So you guys must have some confidence, unless you're just taking a guess right now, that she's going to get in. And I need to see it to really solidify that because I don't know. I feel that film could just not be anywhere in the conversation. So that's my take on that. Number 5, Emma Stone, Begonia. Yes, I do think she's going to get in. I was worried we were going to have Emma Stone fatigue kind of going into the film. Like, what else can she do? And man, she brings it. She is definitely one of the most talented actresses working right now. I know we say this about somebody every single year, but I truly do see her being a Meryl Streep, where she's constantly pushing herself, giving new performances, constantly getting into the Oscars. If she gets in this year, even more solidified. So yes, I have her in my top 5. Going into mine, I do have Jessie at number 1. I have Cynthia Erivo at number 2. If it wasn't for Jessie, I could see a world where Cynthia would have taken home the win. Unfortunately, Jessie's there, or fortunately, however you want to take a look at that. Number 3, I do have Renata in. I think she's comfortably in. Again, just a performance that I feel will probably get in just about everywhere, but just not go home with anything. Number 4, I do have Emma Stone for Begonia. And then number 5, I currently have Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. I just saw this film, and holy shit, she is 100% the movie. She is there. You're with her every step of the way, and she brings it. That is a performance that I feel could get her a nomination, just a low nomination for the film. I truly do think that. Where do you guys have her? She's currently your number 7. You have Chase in between her and Emma. Like I said, you always have to take the potential nominees for Best Picture seriously, because it's your Best Picture winner. How crazy are they going to go for it? For me, though, Rose definitely triumphs in the sense of her performance. Chase does a good job, but she also has a lot of just deadpan stares, where you want her to do just a little bit more. She just needed a little bit more to do. So that's kind of my disappointment. One of my disappointments with the film. Not saying it's a bad film. Just I do have gripes with it. I don't think it's a perfect movie. So for me, Rose Byrne definitely gets in above it. But what do the Oscars think? What do the voters think? That's the more important part. And right now, you guys are thinking Amanda Seyfried. So I may change once I see that film. But for now, I'm feeling somewhat comfortable with my 5. Okay, for Best Supporting Actor, you guys have Sean Penn for One Battle After Another. I do think that is very likely to go home with the win. I don't think it's 100% done deal yet, but man, that performance, that is the type of performance you give the supporting Oscar to. They love to give the villain roles the supporting win. So makes 100% sense to me. That being said, you guys' number 2, Stellan Skarsgård. I don't think he's completely out of the running. He is a veteran actor, has never won before, has never been nominated before. This could be one of those instances where they go, well, when are we ever going to get a chance to give this guy a win in the future? Obviously, that type of narrative doesn't always work out, but you know, it is a conversation to be had there. Plus, Sean has won twice in the past, so maybe they're not so quick on giving him a third one. Though, once again, we've seen that the Oscars are okay with giving a third win to actors and actresses. So, number 3, Paul Mescal for Hamnet. Yeah, once again, he just seems like the type of performance that is just going to get in just about everywhere, but never go on to win. So I think he's just happy for the nomination, but I do think he is securely in there. Number 4, you guys have Benicio del Toro for One Battle After Another. I don't know about that. Is that going a little bit too crazy for One Battle After Another? He's good, but once again, I wanted a little bit more from him, and where his story ultimately ends up, I'm kind of disappointed by. So, I don't know. I get you have to take those seriously, but I don't know. I don't know. I think that might be going a little bit too overboard, in my opinion. But that's just me. Number 5, Jacob Elordi with Frankenstein. Yes, as that film continues to rise, I do think there is a very strong possibility that Jacob does get in. Honestly, your guys' top 5 almost mirror mine. I do have Stellan currently at number 1, and this is just because I haven't seen the movie yet. Once I see it, I can see myself going, oh yeah, that was a really good performance, but Sean definitely does a lot more. But because I haven't seen it, I can only imagine what the performance looks like, and your imagination tends to overblow things. So that's what I got there. But I do have Sean currently at number 2, Paul sitting pretty at number 3. I do have Jacob Elordi at number 4. And then number 5, I do have Adam Sandler for Jay Kelly. This might just be a hope prediction. I think as Jay Kelly continues to fall, I should probably just give up Adam Sandler. But I really want him to get a nomination. This isn't even a, when is he going to get another chance? Because I'm sure he's going to give another great performance in the future. But he's had so many great performances already that this isn't just, oh, this is the first time he's proven himself. He's proven himself time and time again. Get him the nomination. That sets him up for maybe a potential win in the future when he eventually does do another dramatic role. Or heck, even a comedic role that just kind of surpasses what his normal comedic roles are. Because he's just such a talented actor, especially in the right roles. So yeah, I think he just needs a nomination, but that, again, that could be hope dicting. I'm setting myself up to be disappointed, and I really hope that's not the case, but I gotta keep these things alive, right? I gotta keep the conversation going. Best Supporting Actress, as of right now, feels like we're missing something. I do think it is among the more chaotic of the above the line categories, just because we truly have no idea what's gonna happen. Right now, you guys have Ariana Grande for Wicked for Good, and that makes sense. But didn't we also think that Ariana was number 1 last year, and that just completely fell apart? Could we be setting ourselves up for disappointment yet again? Now, the reviews for Wicked did come out, and they do say she has a lot more to do. She has the best song in the movie. So, yes, I do think the signs are there for her to ultimately take the win, but she would also be setting precedents, as, you know, the sequels very rarely get nominated. I mean, hardly ever go on to win. So, yeah, this would be quite interesting to see. But I don't know who else you could really make the argument for. Tiana Taylor is your guys' number 2, and that, again, like I said, you have to take those performances seriously when they're in the Best Picture winner. Again, there's just something missing from her character that I feel just needed a little bit more. She just needed a little bit more. And this is an argument that I've heard other people make for her character. Nothing wrong with her performance. This is nothing against her. She gives a great performance. It's just her character needed a little bit more time. And I think that would have definitely solidified a win for her. But because of that, I do see her getting nominated, but I just don't see her winning. But again, I might be wrong about that. We could all just be thinking we could be, again, setting ourselves up for Ariana, and then all of a sudden Taylor starts sweeping the season. So we'll see what's going on there. Number 3, you guys have Elle Fanning for Sentimental Value. And at number 4, you have Abe's daughter Lilias for Sentimental Value. Is this film going to get 2 acting nominations? You know, for the longest time, I thought maybe one of them would drop. But as the season has gone along, and I haven't seen anybody else that I'm feeling very confident in, like even my number 5, I'm just not 100% sure on. I'm almost thinking, yeah, this just might be a foregone conclusion where we just don't have enough people to play with, so we got to just include both of them. Not that that would be bad, mind you. That would be awesome, but international film getting how many acting nominations? 2, 3, 4? That would be very impressive. Again, worthy. I just don't know if the Oscars are ready to make that leap yet for that type of film. And then your number 5 is Amy Madigan for Weapons. That would be a really cool nomination to see. Again, she could potentially be the lone nomination for the film, which is what makes me kind of pause there, but I would really like to see that. And guys, for once, we are 100% matching. Your top 5 is my top 5 in that exact same order, which makes me extra worried because I do think we've got a surprise in store. Does Gwyneth Paltrow get in? She's your number 6. I just haven't heard that many amazing things about her. I heard she's good, but that's about it. I've heard more great things about Odessa Zion, so could she be that kind of surprise where she starts showing up and then we have to kind of switch over to her? Regina Hall, I mean, once again, and eventually when I do my review for One Battle After Another, I'll talk about this, but I think a lot of the character arcs are kind of weak in One Battle After Another, and I feel the same about Regina. Just where her story ends up is actually really sad when you stop and think about it. Like, they don't dwell on it. But coming out of the theater, I'm like, man, that was kind of sad what her character, where her character ended up. So, yeah, and then everybody below that, I'm just not even going to kind of go over because I have no confidence in them getting in. But that's what I got for you guys now. I do think we got a surprise. We've got a surprise, right, baby? Yeah, there's a surprise coming. Okay, I don't know what he's pointing at. He's seeing ghosts. I'm telling you, it's like the human equivalent of like the cat. He sees ghosts in the corner. There's nothing up there. There's nothing up there. Don't know what he's pointing at. Adapted screenplay. You guys have One Battle After Another. Yes, of course. If this is your Best Picture winner, it's going to go on with the writing. That's not always the case. I should say, but. In this case, you do go win and you are following the dialogue. The dialogue is a very big, important part of the story. So yes, that makes complete sense. Number 2, Hamnet. It's in your Best Picture. It's very high up. So yes, this would be here. Number 3, Begonia. If it doesn't get a Best Picture nomination, I do still see it getting into writing. Just that movie is like, a lot of it is the writing. Just the dialogue going back between Emma and Jesse. Just that's definitely one of the highlights of the film. And number 4, you guys have Wake Up Dead Man and Knives Out Mystery. These films get in every single time for the writing, so I don't see why this one wouldn't, especially because people are saying it is one of the best in the series. And number 5, you have No Other Choice for Park Chan-wook. I really, really hope so. I do think Park needs a nomination. I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet. You're scaring me, baby. Stop pointing at nothing. Yeah, he needs a nomination. That's all I got. And then just to kind of wrap it up, my top 5 is once again your top 5 in the exact same order. So I'm glad we are on board here. I don't know if anything else could potentially get in. I can't see Frankenstein, which is your number 6 for now, really getting in. Train Dreams could be a nice surprise. And then, yeah, I don't think anything else has a chance. I probably would have Train Dreams in number 6 just for a surprise, but that's about it. I wouldn't really consider anything else. So that's what I got. I gotta go catch a ghost, I guess. It turns out they're the ghosts. They're the ghosts all along. as in my audience is not there. Okay, best original screenplay. What do you guys got? Sinners at number 1. Yes, Ryan Coogler definitely deserves a win somewhere. This is where he's going to win. I hope Sinners goes home with more stuff, but yes, I do think this is where he's going to go home with his flowers. Sentimental Value, it's pretty high up, so it makes sense for you to have it number 2. Same with Marty Supreme. Same with It Was Just an Accident. And number 5, which is the big question mark right now, you guys have Jay Kelly. So Jay Kelly, to you guys, is going to get a lone writing nomination. No performances, nothing else. It makes sense, right, baby? It makes sense. And actually, in my research of the writing categories, I found that a lot of the times, and I mean like a scary amount of times, there's always going to be a lone writing nomination. That film doesn't get in any other categories. It just gets a writing nomination. That's it. Like, again, it's scary how many times that's happened in the past. And sometimes it's more than one. So Jay Kelly, Wake Up Dead Man, could those two be the writing ones this year? Well, for me, actually, I do have Sinners, Sentimental Value, Marty Supreme, It Was Just an Accident that we're on the board with. But my number 5, I'm actually going to be throwing out a surprise pick. I'm going to put Sorry Baby in there. Similar to Train Dreams, I do think there is a slight possibility of a surprise for Sorry Baby. This could be the film that we just don't see coming, and then it sneaks in. And again, it would meet the criteria of it being a film that gets no other nominations but writing. And truthfully, nothing else, because with Jay Kelly, there's at least potential it can get something else. Sorry Baby, it would just be writing and nothing else. So I think it does meet that criteria, but that's just me taking the criteria into consideration. If I do keep this, that also means that I'm making Adam Sandler a lone nominee for the film. And again, as we just spoke about, that's not always easy to do. So I don't know. My going this route makes this weak, but going this route makes this argument weaker. So I got to pick my poison, and this is the route that I'm going. I still got a few months to think about it anyway, so that's what I got. Okay, so I will go into a little bit more detail with the below-the-line categories, but I'm not going to spend too much time with it. It really is just going to be more rapid fire. I don't want to make this video over an hour long, plus at some point he's going to get cranky. It's going to be even harder to film, but I'm going to go in alphabetical order, starting off with animated feature film. Right now, you guys have K-pop at number 1, Zootopia at number 2, Arco at number 3, Elliot at number 4, and Little Amelie, or the character Rain, at number 5. For me, I have K-pop, Zootopia. I do have Little Amelie at number 3, Arco at number 4, and then I do have Elliot at number 5. I don't think... Right now, I'm not feeling too strongly about any other animated film. I was keeping Scarlet for a while, but the reviews on it haven't been as great as I wanted them to be, so I did have to drop it. I think you need stellar reviews to even be considered, and they just don't go for anime films all that much. Although, Arco, while people have liked it, people haven't loved it, thus the drop just ever so slightly, but they've still been positive enough that I feel it's still going to get in. But yeah, this really is a fight between K-pop, Zootopia, and really... we don't know what the reviews for Zootopia are going to be. So if they're not as good as the first one, this is K-pop all the way. So the awards expert doesn't have any of the shorts categories, but I do speak about the shorts. I'm like the only one that does. Nobody that I follow talks about the shorts. But to me, you know, you're also an Oscar contender. I love the Oscars. I want to talk about all facets of it. So I always include the shorts. They want to get their dues as well. So here are my predictions for animated short film. Number 1, I have Cardboard. This is about a dad pig who moves his baby pigs into a trailer park. He thinks he's failed them, but the kids with their imagination just are having so much fun. So he has to decide, is he going to kind of join in on the fun, or is he going to continue sulking? As a father myself, that speaks very closely to me. Number 2, I have The Girl Who Cried Pearls. This isn't the first adaptation of, I believe this is a book, but this one has been winning awards. And it makes complete sense why this one would get into the Oscars. The animation also looks really, really nice, so there's that for you. Number 3, Murmuration. This one's made with puppets, and it's about an old man in a retirement home that turns into a bird and decides he's got to join a different flock even though he's still friends with the people there. I believe that's going to be a metaphor for passing on, so it has a very strong I think it has a strong chance of making people cry there because of it. Number 4, I have A Sparrow Song. This is a woman who lost her husband. She's living in like World War II era. She finds a sparrow who is hurt, and she kind of finds renewed purpose in trying to heal this bird. Number 5, I have Drag Fox. This one, look at the trailer. You have a fox in drag, and it is the most adorablest thing ever, especially as it starts to like dance. But just the animation is that kind of stop motion, which the Oscars really love. So that's what I have here. And yeah, let me know if you guys follow shorts. What do you think? Moving on to casting, you guys have One Battle After Another, Sinners, Marty Supreme, Wicked for Good, and Sentimental Value. I have One Battle, Sinners, Wicked, Sentimental, and Wake Up Dead Man. Wake Up Dead Man is the one that I'm taking a risk on. What are you eating? Okay. It's a film that has a lot of performances in it. Obviously, not all of them have a lot to do in it, but kind of my inclusion for this one and Wicked is maybe with this category, they go for quantity over quality. So I've included both sides of that argument. We'll see. I think this is one that we're all on even ground with because we don't know truly what they're going to be thinking about. So it's just taking a guess. And I wanted to include both those arguments so I don't completely screw myself over if they only go with one. So that's what I got there. All right, moving on to cinematography. You guys have Sinners at number 1, One Battle, Hamnet, Frankenstein, and Marty Supreme. I currently have One Battle, Sinners, Hamnet, Frankenstein, and I do have Begonia at number 5. Again, that might just be hope dictating just because I thought the cinematography, especially in like the final act, if you will, was spectacular. But that just might be me again, hope dictating. Marty Supreme, I heard, has really close-up cinematography. Like a lot of the camera work is very close, and I just don't know if the Oscars will go for that type of thing. And obviously I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know how true that is. It's just the buzz I hear around it. And so while it's beautiful to behold, the Academy sometimes, kind of like with editing, they want flashy editing. More subtle editing is not their bag, so I'm thinking that might be the same thing here. You guys have Train Dreams at number 6. That also could be a possibility, but I think Train Dreams, like, I could see getting into writing, but I think it's going to have a harder time getting into any other categories. It's, to me, that type of film where they'll kind of give it a bone. We're like, yeah, okay, we'll acknowledge this one aspect of it, but they won't touch it anywhere else for whatever reason. And we see this like every single year. So that's why I'm thinking more positively about Begonia. But once again, I could be wrong about that one. Yeah, I know, baby. They suck sometimes. Costume design. You guys have Wicked. You guys have Frankenstein. You guys have Sinners, Hamnet, and The Testament of Anne Lee. You guys already know what my thoughts on Testament of Anne Lee are. I gotta see it first. So for me, I do have Wicked, I have Frankenstein, I have Hamnet, I have Sinners, and then my number 5 is Kiss of the Spider-Woman. They do, they are willing to put lone nominations in costume, and heck, in the past, they've even gone on to win. So I think the costumes in that film are spectacular and could be a very strong component. Obviously, I think it has the ability to get into a couple of other categories as well. But for me, I think costumes might be one of its best chances. So I do have it as a low nomination here, just because the film ultimately didn't do well, like at all. So if you are just like, no, that film's completely dead, I understand your train of thought behind it, but I'm just not ready for Testament of Anne Lee to go in there. And Marty Supreme just feels like the movie with Suits, even though it is a period piece. In the trailer, I didn't see anything that wowed me. So I'll have to see it to see if I change my mind. One Battle After Another, that's set in modern times. The costumes aren't anything that spectacular. Although people dressed up as Leo for Halloween, so maybe I might be wrong about that. Hedda would be very nice nomination, but people just didn't go for it. And I don't think there's a campaign for that movie like at all. Yeah, that's about it. I wouldn't take anything else into consideration here. All right, documentary feature film. You guys have The Perfect Neighbor at 1, 2,000 Meters to Androvika at 2, Mr. Nobody Against Putin at 3, Put Your Soul on Your Hand and Walk at 4, and Seeds at number 5. For me, I do have The Perfect Neighbor at number one. I've actually been seeing news articles about the film, and I think that's a very, very good thing to happen when people outside the scope of the Oscars, the Oscar pundits, people like you and I, that are talking about the film, because that generates talk, that generates buzz. More people are going to go out and see it because of the article. So that makes me feel that it's in a very good spot to get nominated. Go on to win, I don't know, but a good spot to get nominated. I do have 2000 Meters to Androvika at 2. If the first film is any indicator, I think we're in for more heart-wrenching depictions of the war, so I think that's safely in. My number 3, I do have Put Your Soul on Your Hand and Walk. I think these films with the very long and weird titles typically get into either the documentary sections or the shorts sections. Like, look that up. It's like scary how often that happens. So that's why, even though it hasn't gotten the best reviews, I do think I think that alone might help push it in, as weird as that might sound. Number 4, I have The Alabama Solution. I've been predicting this one since the very beginning, so I'm hoping it goes all the way to get a nomination, but I mean, last year I was holding on to one particular documentary the entire time. I forgot which one, but I do remember being disappointed, going, I should have dropped it. I shouldn't have held on to it, but it's too early to really drop this one. I won't make the same mistake, though, if I see the trajectory go the same route. And number 5, I do have Mr. Nobody Against Putin. That just seems like the type of film that the Oscars would like to get in there. Yeah, I think this is a pretty good lineup, but a documentary, first, we always get a documentary curse. Where's the curse going to hit this time? And second, I think this one and international, there's always, we feel so confident in the lineup, and then there's always something that surprises. And so us being so close with our predictions makes me think, yeah, we're missing something here. It's too soon to tell, but we're definitely missing something. Once again, they don't include these shorts categories here, so I'm just going to be talking about the documentary short film predictions that I have. Number 1, I do have Armed with Only a Camera, The Life and Death of Brent Renaud. This is about the first American journalist that was killed in the Russo-Ukrainian War. And that's going off of IMDb. Again, long titles typically get in, so while you can make the argument this one's not going to win, I feel confident about it getting in at least. Plus, very, very serious subject matter. Number 2, The Goldfish Club. This is about a group of like or is it like stunt people, I would say. They kind of perform tricks up in the air, but then an accident happens, a really bad accident, and the documentary is essentially kind of following them, how they come into to terms with what occurred, and then just finding the courage to go back up in the air and do more tricks. Very much you got to get back on the horse, you can't let fear control you type of story, which I think could be very uplifting and powerful. Number 3, I have How I Learned to Die. This young girl, learns that she has a very strong chance of dying within the next, it's like 3 months, something like that. And so she decides she's going to go all out. She's going to live life to the fullest in case she doesn't make it. So again, I think has a good chance of having a blend of comedic elements, just like uplifting elements, and also you feel really bad because this is somebody who really hasn't gotten to experience life at all yet. Number 4, Shanti Wright Shotgun. This is about a woman who teaches others how to drive in, was it Los Angeles, New York? I forgot, one of the big cities. But from what I understand, she actually teaches a lot of famous people's kids how to drive. So it's just kind of her life, her work, things of that nature. And then number 5 is I Hope This Email Finds You Well. This is about a girl who's basically documenting, or journaling, I should say, kind of her life with the Palestine war. It's a journal that she was going to send off to her boyfriend, who became her ex, and just kind of, I think she was collecting all this and just made it into a movie, if I understand correctly. I might be completely wrong about that, though don't quote me on it, but that's just kind of the impression I got from what I was reading. But again, 5 films that I think are either important topics or just are uplifting tales, which exactly what the Oscars really like, but again, I could be wrong because the shorts are always really hard to predict. Back on the train with film editing here. You guys have One Battle After Another at number 1. You have Sinners at number 2, Marty Supreme at 3, Hamilton at number 4, and Sentimental Value at number 5. I do have One Battle at 1, Sinners at 2. I have Hamnet at 3. I do have Marty Supreme at 4. And then I have Wicked for Good at 5. Though I will be honest, with the early reviews that have gone out, I think that might not be a done deal anymore. Typically with musicals, you need all this fancy editing, but I've even heard some people say that like one of the big songs, like there's not even any editing, it's just like kind of going around. So it's not very noticeable. So you know what? I'm gonna change my pick right here, right now. Which one did I not have in editing that you... Sentimental Value, F1, no other choice. Oh no, I don't like the alternatives. Oh, fuck it. I'll go with you guys. I'll go with Sentimental Value at number 5, just because I don't feel strongly in Wicked getting in here anymore. But I'm not ready to put in F1. I know it's a racing film, so it's got fancy editing, but I don't know if that film is that viable here. I again could be wrong, but yeah, there you go. First time I'm changing my pick here right on camera. All right, international feature film. You guys have Sentimental Value, It Was Just an Accident, No Other Choice, The Secret Agent, and the voice of Hainer Rajab. That's awesome. That is actually my 5. So once again, perfectly aligned with you guys. And again, it makes me think there's going to be a surprise in store. But Sarat, no, I heard that one's really, that one's dark. The President's Cake, maybe. I think that one. Left-Handed Girl, that one's been getting some buzz lately. Yeah, I think those would be the only other 2 that I would think about. Sound of Falling, like I hear, is more of an artsy film, which, I mean, I guess the Academy wouldn't be opposed to. They've done that sort of stuff before. So yeah, if anything swaps out, I could see one of those 3 getting in. But yeah, I think this lineup is fantastic. I would not want to swap anything out here. Talking about the final of the shorts category, I'm going to go over my live action short film predictions. Number 1, I do have Ali, or Ally, however you pronounce it. This is set in a place where singing is illegal for women, I believe. And so this one person enters a competition, a singing competition, but does so to like reveal a nefarious purpose, is what I remember IMBD saying. So that sounds interesting. If I remember correctly, I do believe it's won an award, so that's kind of my reasoning behind that one. Number 2, I have Made from Leak-Proof Plastic. This is about a woman who is about to move. She just lost her husband, but a leak happens in her house or apartment, and it might damage some paintings that her husband did before he passed away. So this kind of situation kind of helps her come to terms with the grief and the loss in order to be able to move on. Number 3, I have Beyond Silence. This is about 2 women who, from different generations who experience trauma, like the exact same trauma. And the story essentially follows one that decides to speak up about her trauma, you know, kind of come to terms with it, deal with it, and the other one holds it in, doesn't say anything, and how their life is affected by choosing what they've done. So I think, especially in today's age, that's a very important conversation. So let's see here. Number 4, I have How to Shoot a Ghost. This is Charlie Kaufman's new film. It hasn't been getting the best reviews, so I don't know if his name recognition helps push it through, but I had to include it. I need to research more live action short films. So he might just get in just because it is Charlie. And then lastly of all, Talk Me, I have, which is, I'm going to read from IMDb here. It says, in a world where speech is a forbidden form of intimacy, a local outsider stumbles from a loveless marriage into true connections with a stranger in Joser Hana's remarkable fresh take on the norms of relational engagement. So again, just a very interesting topic. How are they going to tackle that? I feel it has the potential to be very impactful, be romantic even. So yeah, who knows? Again, a lot of these have won awards, and that's kind of what I'm basing a lot of my picks on top of course, the synopsis and how interested I am in watching them. But live action short film is definitely my weakest subject, so please take what I've said here with a lot of salt. Sometimes I do get some right, but I've had times where all of them have been wrong, despite feeling so confidently about them. he's falling asleep. He's like that video of the cop that throws the thing on the gator and it goes fucking insane. He's adorable. All right, moving on to makeup and hairstyling. Let's see what you guys have here. Number 1, you guys have Frankenstein. Number 2 is Wicked for Good. And number 3 is The Smashing Machine. Number 4, Sinners. And number 5 is 28 Days Later. I've heard, like, even the Oscar expert talking about this one. Has a zombie movie ever gotten into makeup? I cannot think of a situation where it has. And that's, like, giving me the biggest pause of it potentially getting in. But you know what? This year in particular is just so weak. Because you guys have Weapons at 6, Begonia at 7, Wolfman at 8, Blue Moon. I don't know. I'm not feeling too confidently in a lot of those. But just to kind of give you mine, I do have Frankenstein, Wicked, Smashing Machine, Sinners. We're on board for that one. I did put Weapons at number 5, only because I do have Amy Madigan in my supporting actress. And we talked about this makeup and the performances, for whatever reason, like correlate with each other, even though it makes no freaking sense to me. So that's why I'm leaning more towards Weapons. That's really all I got. It's not the best argument, but it's not the best year in this category, so I gotta take what I can get. All right, for score, you guys have Sinners, One Battle, Hamnet, Frankenstein, Marty Supreme. Before I talk about mine, I do need to mention I haven't heard all of these scores, so this really is going off of what everybody is saying on top of what I've heard. So again, take these with some salts. So for mine, I do have One Battle, I have Sinners, I have Frankenstein, I have Hamnet, and I do have Marty Supreme. The only ones that I have heard are Sinners and One Battle. I have not seen the other 3 films yet. I need to jump on Frankenstein. I haven't had a chance to do it yet. But I'm really just going off of what other people are saying here, so I'm no expert on any of these scores just yet. Once I hear them, maybe I'll feel more confident on it. You guys have Begonia number 6. I'll be honest, I didn't like the score in Begonia. I thought it was very distracting. It was overbearing at points. The only time it made sense was at the very, very end, where I'm like, oh, this score fits with this setting. But every other time when they're in this intimate setting and you just hear the bong, I'm like, that doesn't feel like it matches the scene. So that's just my take on that. Moving on to original song, you guys have Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters, I Lied to You from Sinners, Girl in the Bubble from Wicked for Good, No Place Like Home from Wicked for Good, and Relentless from Diane Warren. Oh, I have Dear Me. Oh, okay, I'm stupid. I didn't realize there were 2 songs in the Diane Warren film. For the longest time, I've just been going with Dear Me. Oh no, I'm gonna have to do some research here. Wow. Okay, well, I feel stupid. I feel stupid. Okay, my songs. I do have The Girl in the Bubble at number 1. I heard that's the best song in the film, although now with kind of the weak reviews and them saying, hey, it's a good song, but it's still not as good as Defying Gravity. Maybe that just doesn't happen. This just might be golden all the way. I do have No Place Like Home getting in. I have Dear Me from Diane Warren, Relentless, and then I have I Lied to You. So we're pretty much on board. I gotta go listen to Relentless. Maybe that is the better of the 2 songs. I have no idea. So I don't know. I'm just feeling foolish that I did not know that there was another Diane Warren song in that film. The things you learn. See, this is why I gotta go to these websites more often. Production design. You guys have Frankenstein, Wicked for Good, Sinners, Hamnet, and Avatar, Fire and Ash. For my production design, I do have Wicked at number 1, Frankenstein at 2, Hamnet at 3, Sinners at 4, and I do have Marty Supreme at number 5, which is your guys' number 6. I guess it makes sense for Avatar to get in. I mean, the previous films have gotten into this category. I don't know. Again, is it going to be a matter of we've been there, we've done that? Is the Fire Nation going to be a compelling place to have production design? Everything's going to be on fire, so I can't imagine that's being the case. But you know, I'm sure we're not on fire 100% of the time. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Marty Supreme. I think, especially it being more of a period piece, we're gonna have some interesting setups, many different locations. So that's why I'm kind of leaning more towards that. But I might be wrong in this scenario. If Avatar does do things new, keeps things fresh, I do see that getting in. So I would consider that one my number 6. For sound, you guys have F1, One Battle After Another, Sinners, Avatar, Fire and Ash, and you have Wicked, For Good. For my sounds, I do have One Battle at 1, Sinners at 2, F1 at 3, Avatar, Fire and Ash at 4, and Wicked, For Good at 5. I would love, especially now that the reviews for Wicked haven't been as amazing, if we just swapped out Wicked and put in Warfare. I still believe Warfare has the best sound design of the year. Like, that was just, seeing that in theater, I had like the same chills and just going, whoa, the sound here is amazing, that I did when I saw A Complete Unknown the year prior, where, yeah, I didn't love A Complete Unknown, but the one thing that completely blew me away was the sound design in that film. Like, it just sent chills down my spine. So I would love to see Warfare get in, and I would swap out Wicked to put it in there. Everything else can stay, even Avatar. The one thing I always say about these films is, you're in a fantasy setting, these things don't exist, so you have to come up with sounds that would be believable for that world, and that's not an easy thing to do. So that's why I'm 100% like okay with Avatar getting in here. But yeah, please, Warfare, if it could sneak in there, just a lone nomination for sound, yes, that'd be fucking awesome. Wrapping things up, we have visual effects. You guys have Avatar, of course, at number 1, Superman at number 2, Wicked at number 3, F1 at number 4, and Frankenstein at number 5. I do hear there's a lot of like special effects in F1, which awesome, but how many people are going to notice that? Again, is the Academy going to want more of, you notice the special effects and they look good, or is it just they're so good you don't even notice them? Again, good question. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that one, but that's why I don't have F1 here. I do have Avatar. Again, foregone conclusion, this is your winner here, and there's nothing else is going to stand a chance. I do have Wicked. From what I understand, there's a lot more animals in that movie, and while they're not obviously realistic looking, it doesn't matter. Just the amount of CG in it, I think, is going to help push it in, which again goes to what I said about not including F1. You notice its special effects. In F1, you don't notice. So that's why I think maybe the Academy is just more inclined to put it in when you notice it and they look good. Sometimes they don't always look good and they get in anyway. I do have Superman at number 3. I do have Tron Ares at number 4. I get why people have just completely dropped it. That film crashed and burned. It's gotten terrible reviews. It didn't do well at the box office. Well, guess what? Neither did the previous one. And if you go onto Rotten Tomatoes right now, it's got an even worse score than Ares. It still got a nomination. Granted, it didn't get a nomination in visual effects. It got a nomination in sound. So you could make the argument, yeah, that doesn't count. That was sound. He would have got into visuals. But my argument here is, just because you get a bad score doesn't eliminate you from getting a nomination in some of the categories. I always think of like when Norbit got in for, what was it, makeup? And that film was fucking terrible. So again, you don't have to be a good film. You just have to have good elements to the craft of the category. So that's why I'm including it in there. I may drop it at some point based on what I see from the precursors, but yeah, for now I'm keeping it in there. And number 1, and I'm not, excuse me, and number 5 is A Hope Diction. I do have Predator Badlands on here. Actually, let me see where you guys have. You have Tron Ares at number 8, and you have Predator Badlands at 11. How dare you? So again, this is more of a Hope Diction than anything, but you just had Aliens get nominated last year. How awesome would it be for now Predators to get nominated this year? I would really love to see that. The film did really well, got really good reviews, some of the best reviews in the series. And while there are some hokey CGI, a lot of it I do think works very well. You're on an alien planet, but it looks like a realistic setting. I think that is exactly what the Academy really likes to see. Just, you could tell everything CGI, but there's a lot of it. So I think we might be sleeping on this one, but again, that just might be hope dicting, so I could be wrong there. Anyways, that's what I have for you guys for my November Oscar predictions. Let me know if you like this kind of setting where I look at your predictions and then compare it to my own. Or is it more like, nah, just forget about that. Just stick to your own. I want to have fun. I don't want to do the same thing over and over and over again. So that's why I try to change it up every few months. So I don't know, that's kind of what I got here. I do have another fun predictions planned for next month. We'll see if I can make it work, especially with you know who running amok. But yes, please forgive me for lack of content. I've tried to record so many times, and essentially this happens, the craziness. And then when he falls asleep, I'm like, oh, I'm afraid of waking him up while recording. So yeah, that's why I've been very hesitant. And I can only really record on my days off, and my wife works on my days off. So you can see I'm stuck, but that's my personal problem. You guys don't care about that. You just want predictions, you want videos. I understand. I want to continue making them for you. I love making these things. But yeah, we're about to get into December. We're about to really start getting into the festivals, the award festivals. Now we're going to be starting to get the predictions to, or excuse me, the nominees for a lot of the different state nominations. The Golden Globe nominations are around the corner. The was it the Critics' Choice? I think our #1 is like January 3rd, something like that. 4th, something like that. So that's like super early. So those are really close by as well. I don't know if I'll do reactions videos to those. I typically don't. I only wait for the Oscars, but because I don't have a lot of content, maybe I'll just do it to kind of give you something. But I do have other things lined up that I'm hoping I can get done. So that's what I got for you guys. Please join me for the next one. Let me know what your predictions are. And that's all I got. So until that next video, please stay safe out there and have a good one.